Yeah, creating that frequent, authoritative content with keyword-rich material in it, for sure.
Yeah, I call that a lot of what you're talking about unintended SEO.
Yeah.
Because if you look in your analytics, I have thousands of searches. I have thousands of page views from keywords that I didn't intend. They were long-tail keywords that I didn't really intend to optimize for.
Yeah.
And so when you create all that content, that's why they say content's king. So when you create all that great content out there, you are optimizing for things that you never intended for, and your analytics will show that.
Absolutely.
You'll have a lot of traffic from stuff you never thought about just because you have really great content.
So clearly internet business has impacted your life quite a bit in being able, both you and your wife, to quit your jobs. But how else has your life changed over the last few years of having your own internet business and having being able to quit your job?
No, it's just like night and day. In fact, it's been over 3 years now for me, and I still have to remind myself on Sunday nights. I spent a lot of years on Sunday nights dreading Monday morning.
Right.
And Sunday nights are really cool because I don't have to get up. I get up pretty early anyway, but I don't have to get up and go somewhere.
Right.
We work out of our home, and I just Sunday nights are really cool. That's really impacted it a lot, and just our lifestyle, being able to take off to the city. We don't have to work around the job. And when you have a job, you've got to schedule everything from your hair appointments to doctor appointments, and it just changes everything because you don't have to. You can arrange those the way you want them to, and not when you can get off work or if you can't get off work. It's just that was the big one right there, just being able to go whenever we wanted to.
Yeah, it's definitely a different mindset, that's for sure, because just for instance, this particular Sunday, I suddenly realized, oh, it's Sunday, and then I went, ooh, I've got some good stuff to do tomorrow. On Monday, I was excited that Monday was coming. That's still
yeah. It's a whole different deal. We used to say, for a year I spent saying that after we both quit, every day was a Saturday to us because Saturdays were spent, when we had jobs, Saturdays were spent working, about half or two-thirds of the day every Saturday while we had jobs. We were working on the internet businesses. And then when we quit, it was kind of like a Saturday every day. We would work, and then we'd go and drive to the lake. We have a really nice lake, like 8 miles away from us, a big lake. And so we would drive around the lake all the time, and when we wanted to. And it was about like a Saturday every day for a long time. It felt like that.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. Well, and as you know from listening to the show, we love giving tips. That's why we always have a quick tip. So we wanted to ask you what your 2 top tips for somebody who wanted to get started in an internet business is.
Well, number 1 is don't try to make money right off. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see people doing. And I talk to a lot of people that are just starting out on the forums and the blogs and contacting me directly. But probably the biggest mistake is trying to make money right out of the chute without really knowing what you're doing. They'll get into these scams, of course, thinking they're going to make money, but then they build a little website, and the first thing they do is slap affiliate links all over the place. I'm like, you don't have any traffic. There's no point in joining all these affiliate programs and going to all that trouble. Just focus on the traffic. Learn how to get the traffic. The money will come later. That's the first tip. And the second one is you've got to have patience. And most beginners that I work with, unfortunately, most of them don't have enough patience, and they end up just quitting. They know what they're supposed to be doing, and they can listen to me and the theories and everything, and they'll try it for a while. And if they don't get any traction in a month or so, well, they're getting frustrated and they want to quit. And that ain't going to cut it. You've got to have the patience, and you got to stick with it. I like to say one of my favorite phrases is relentless focused action. And you just have to stay with it, and it's not that hard. If you're not trying to make money by next week, and if you'll stay focused and at it, there really aren't any super top secret things out here. You just got to understand SEO a little bit and picking a niche, and then stay with it for sure. That'd be my 2 top tips for sure for beginners.
Well, speaking of the SEO, what would be a nice good tip for somebody getting started with the SEO side of it as far as what you've learned?
The smaller the niche, the better. And I don't really care for if my students, a lot of them, they want to find the niche. They want to find the thing that is going to make them their fortune. And that's probably not going to happen the first time. My advice would be to find a very, very small niche. And I don't really care if it's going to make any money for you initially. I want you to go through the process of finding a niche, picking the keywords, building the site, and doing what it takes to get ranking in Google. I just want to see you do that. And that takes a lot of the pressure off. Because when I tell them that, they're thinking they've got to find the niche and build the site. And no, let's just do something. Let's just get some real world practice here. Find a little niche that you're interested in, build you a little site about something that's cool that you like, and let's just get it ranking well for certain keywords. And that's how I would suggest they start out instead of trying to, hit a home run out of the box.
That's some really good wisdom that you just shared right there. I mean, there's several things that you said. I love how you talked about at first. You weren't afraid because you're like, look, I just want to replace my car payment. It was a first goal. I mean, that's great. You're right. A lot of times beginners put a lot of pressure on themselves about the making money part of things. And we are here to make money, and you will make money, and you will eventually be able to quit your job. But, you got to start with that first step. And if all the pressure, I think that's why people get hung up on the niche selection. They're like, oh, I've got one chance and I got to pick that one that'll get me out of my job, or else that's it. And it's like, look, if you could just replace your car payment, pick something small, go through the process, you learn a lot of things, you get that first sale. I mean, you talked about your boost of confidence when you got that, and you're like, look, I can do this. I just made money on the internet. Now nothing can stop me. And so there's a lot to be learned. And I love what you said, relentless focus action. RFA, relentless focus action. I mean, you're absolutely right. If that is a key part of this. If there is any secret sauces, you got to keep at it and believe that you deserve it and that you can do it.
Mm-hmm. And another thing beginners don't realize that they should, and it would make their lives a lot easier and with less frustration. But making that first $100 online legitimately with SEO and doing everything right, making that first 100 is really hard. It really is. But you know what? Making the next 100 is a lot easier. And same way with the 1,000. Making the first 1,000s, it's going to be a lot of work. But boy, making the second and the third and the fourth is a lot easier, much easier, because you can just wash, rinse, and repeat what you understand and what works for you.